My name is Brianna, and I'll be asking my stepmom a few questions about her experiences as a Black woman, focusing on how she's been seen, understood, and treated in different spaces. So we're just going to start off with the first question. Can you recall one of the earliest moments when you realized that Black women are often seen or treated through stereotypes?
I was probably I was probably a teenager, about 13, 14. And it was probably being told that my mother didn't own her home and assuming that I was paying for something with food stamps at the grocery store. So about 13 or 14. It was assuming that we didn't belong in a neighborhood, that we were on Section 8 or something in that neighborhood. And it's like, no, and my mom, at that time, we didn't have a man in the home. It was just my mom. And she
Mm-hmm.
was a single mother with three daughters. And her owning a home was just like unheard of. Um, and I was like, well, why would they assume that?
Right.
But I think that was the first reality I had that we were looked at differently.
How did that moment like shape how you understood yourself, like your space as a Black woman in the world? Like, how did that shape that understanding?
That I was gonna always have to prove myself, that I didn't want to be a stereotype. But
Mm-hmm.
it definitely shaped how I moved with people, how I interacted with others. When it came to being growing up and becoming a woman myself, I think it shaped how I had to let everyone know, like, hold on, I'm educated. Hold on,
Right.
I got real jobs. Hold on. At 18, I was doing this when you were still at home with your mama. Like, and I think that's what made it. um, I think that really shaped me. One having to be a little harder and a little bit letting you know, like, hold on, I'm not that, and this ain't that.
Exactly. So, in my class, we talk a lot about how Black women are kind of always put in this mammy type of stereotype where we always have to be caring, we always have to do this, put up with this, they'll take care of that, and it becomes very stressful. So, like, in what ways, like, have you felt pressure to adjust, like, your appearance, your speech, your emotions, or like your behavior in order to be taken seriously or treated fairly?
Code switch. I code switch often.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
um, Code switch. Who I am, even at home, even among my family, sometimes
Hmm.
I find myself still having to fit into a box or a narrative. Um, that isn't. I don't.
Hmm.
Yeah, I code switch a lot, a lot, a
Yeah.
lot, and it definitely depends on where I'm at and who I'm talking to,
Hmm.
on which part of me you're gonna get. Um,
Yes.
a lot.
So okay, yeah, because like even with me, like I code switch, even like honestly, even sometimes with family. So what like are there spaces where you feel like freedom to be yourself? Hmm.
My journal. I think. I think my journal knows me better than anybody. Um, because again, and I think we're taught that at an early age of being something for everybody else except for yourself. Like with my sisters, I'm a big sister.
Hmm.
With my mother, I'm a daughter, but I'm also the oldest.
Hmm.
I'm a mother, and so like the real me, because I always have to show up or feel the need to show up for everybody else. I don't know when I am just not worrying about how this person is going to perceive me or how this person is going to react. So I think even with friends,
Hmm.
Like even with my different friends have a different version of me.
Yes.
So I think, yeah, my journal knows me the
Yeah, Jana. Okay, okay. And that's not bad. Like honestly, I feel like a lot of women in general, or black women, like I think journaling is something that I really just came to. I was like, oh, like this is actually really good. Like I feel like I can express myself way more in my journal. So back to like this manly perspective that's put on black women. What role have you had with other like black women in your life that are put under those same conditions as you? How has that played in helping you with stereotypes?
I play the role of glass is half full, half empty, right? People see the
Yeah.
glass as half empty. I always try to give a perspective of, but it's half full. And that's to anybody that's in my anybody that, like, I have a girlfriend right now who is taking care of her sick mother, and she knows that I've taken care of sick family members often, right? And she's just like, I don't
Hmm.
know how you did it every day, because I'm ready. I'm ready to put
Mm.
people in homes and cut it
Yeah.
out, right? And I'm like,
Hmm.
think of it this way: God, one, don't put too much on you that you can't handle. And
Hmm.
so yeah, I think for me, I think that's how I help navigate those stereotypes. Is one, it could be worse. Um,
Hmm.
two, I've always been taught that as a black woman, especially in America, I have to show up 10 times better than any and everybody else anyway. And with that mindset, if you keep that mindset that I have to be better, I have to do this, because if I'm not, you're gonna definitely stereotype me, and then I'm gonna end up in jail. So yeah, I just go into everything with the whole.
Mm. Okay. Okay. How has like that expectation shown up in your life, and like how has it affected like how you care for yourself, or like how has it affected like you asking for support? Because I feel like a lot of black women like stick with all the trauma and all that stuff to themselves. So,
I rarely ask for help.
mm,
It sucks. Again, yeah, I show up even when I don't want to, even if I don't feel like it. Like, I had surgery and all that, and even that was hard. Like, I couldn't sit down because asking for help. What? I am the helper.
exactly,
I do help. I do the helping. There will be,
exactly.
and for me, that is something that has been embedded in me since I was a child. I grew up having, as the oldest, to help care for my younger siblings. A healthy relationship, like romantically, I don't know how to navigate that because I've always been able to put that on the back burner because I had to show up for everybody else in my life. Simple things of getting your hair done, your nails done, that those things come lastly to me until I make sure everything else is taken care of. But who gonna show up for me? Right?
Exactly.
But with that mindset also, you won't be blessed with that mindset because you can't do things in hopes of somebody doing something for you. Even our partners, like our romantic partners, barely sometimes ask, "What can I do to help you?" You know, because we're expected to be a mother, a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, a negotiator, a therapist, a teacher, uh, a guide, a spiritual guide. Those are things that we are expected to do. And as Black women, not only are we expected to do it, we're expected to do it without a complaint. Like, I think I was having a conversation with a guy, one of my male friends, and he was like, "My mom never complained about being a single mother, right?" And I'm like, "She didn't
Hmm.
complain to you because at the end of the day,
Hmm.
as her child, she was supposed to protect you, keep you from that. So we keep it away from our friends. We we grieve in silence. We hurt in silence, and I think that's our biggest problem.
Hmm. Speaking of black women and their emotions, we talk a lot about how in any field, specifically, we always talk about filming, and we talk a lot about Angela Bassett and Viola Davis and stuff like that. We always talk about this stereotype that like, or just this thought that black women having anger issues, like they think like the anger is like dangerous or inappropriate. Can you describe a time like where you felt misunderstood or like when you chose to speak up or stay silent and like what influenced that decision?
I remember I was in the military. I was in boot camp actually, and it was a it was a young lady being bullied. She was from one of the Dakotas, but
Hmm.
Lily White had never been outside of her hometown, and it was another black girl with me who she was from Chicago, so she wasn't with me, but she was from Chicago, and she was bullying this girl. I mean, every day, nonstop, bully, 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 bully,
Hmm.
bully. And so I finally was
Hmm.
like, "All right, man, you want to bully somebody? Bully me, bully
Hmm.
me. How about that, right?" And it turned
Right.
into this whole thing because she didn't really want to bully me, but at this point now I'm bullying you, right?
Okay.
And I remember another white girl was with me. Like we was like tagging her. Like it was like a tag team.
Hmm.
And I remember I was the only one that ended up. I got fined $1,500 first of all, and I was the only one that
Mm.
got in trouble. And I was like, "Why am we were both?" And I was like, first of all, I started because she was bullying,
Exactly.
but it wasn't just me bullying her. At this point, I got a white woman that was right here with me, and she's not
Hmm.
getting the same treatment. I learned then that no matter what, I we would never ever be equal.
Hmm.
If I got a $1,500 fine, I got 5 days of me having to get up early, like in overnight, and the white girl that was with me got absolutely nothing.
Right. Hmm.
The military in a whole
Hmm.
taught me that one, it was no place for women, and especially black women, but that how America viewed African American women. Yeah, you want a humble black woman put her in a pair of camouflage.
Do you feel that the expectations placed on black women have changed over time? Like between the younger and older generations, like.
The generation, like when I say older, I mean like 70s and 80s. They fought really hard, and I
Hmm.
think that women that are 60 to 45 lived up to
Hmm.
those expectations, and they actually exceeded them to a certain point. African American women became one of the highest educated in the country. Um, and with that being said, they don't want us to see our greatness right now. And that's why our younger generation is being put into this light of ratchetness, pretty much,
Yep.
of of baddies and Jocelyn's Cabaret and Love and Hip Hop, right?
Yes.
None of those things represent African American women in positive lights. None of them. Not a
Hmm.
damn one, right? But what they don't tell you on those shows is that, like on Baddies, a good 40% of those young ladies have college degrees,
Yeah.
right? Love and Hip Hop. Those women are actually entrepreneurs and things like that. So I think what has changed is that not that we are not succeeding, is that they don't want you to believe that you are. They want you to
Hmm.
believe that we are welfare queens and that we're nothing better than shaking and gyrating and cursing and being disruptive to our own betterment. And I
Yep.
think that's what changed. I think that African American women actually exceeded what the plan was. I think that's the biggest difference between the age gaps.
Hmm.
We have some that they struggled, they worked really hard, and we have the other a generation that's a little bit ahead of me that they benefited from it, and they took that blood, sweat, and tears, and they ran with it, and they made it better, and then we have my generation who we're trying to break generational curses, right? We're trying to break that
Hmm.
part for our children that are like your age and younger. We're trying to do that. But then we do have young women like you, and I have cousins around your age who are they're working. They are they're being better. So I think that we have to look outside of what the media shows us of what Black women are and actually look around our community.
If there this is my last question. Is there anything that you would like to add to the conversation about Black women's lives, period, right now in America? Anything that's overlooked, misunderstood?
I don't think we're aggressive. I think we're
Hmm.
tired.
Yes.
I think we're tired, and sometimes it's like a baby, right? When a baby is tired, they throw tantrums, they get upset, they don't want nothing, they don't want to be bothered, right? And
Hmm.
we call it a temper tantrum because they're a baby, right? For Black women, we call it aggression. But I think it's just we're tired. Um, I think that's why in this season, right now in America, Black women are drinking their water and minding their business and learning how to line dance. And that's just that. And I think that it's
Okay.
okay. I think that right now, Black women actually are doing with what we haven't done since Black women have landed here on this land. And that is actually self-care. The drinking your water and minding your business, that's self-care. Us
Hmm.
not getting down here marching on these picket lines is self-care. Because what we do know is that right now we're on break, but we do know that in 4 years, it is gonna be Black women that's gonna fix what y'all got going on in America right now today. It's not gonna be a white
Yeah.
man that's gonna fix it. It's not gonna be a white woman that's gonna fix it.
That's not something they like to hear. Definitely.
Stay clocked out.
I
Don't clock in. Don't go out there on them picket lines.
exactly. I do want to thank you for coming out, giving your time to answer these questions, and that's it. Thank you. Bye.
You are welcome.